Hello everyone, it is Saturday, June 1st, and I thought I would kind of take you through our main garden and just show you everything we have planted so far and how everything is doing. So here is our trellis. We put this in when we first moved in. And over here we have some cucumbers. So we did not plant these cucumbers. These cucumbers actually came back from seed from the ones we had last year. So these are going to be pickling cucumbers right here. That one at the end is a white cucumber. And then if you look, we have some cucamelons. They're little tiny plants. We have some cucamelons coming up, and they are from our first year. So they were planted, we actually had cucamelons 3 years ago. So those have been continuously coming up since then. So over here on this side of the trellis, we have our beans. So they are not climbing beans, though some are climbing, but this just seemed like a good spot to put them. So these right here are a heirloom dry bean mix. And then these over here are a like smaller green bean type. Then we have some heirloom Egyptian walking onions that have gone wild, and I'm so glad for it. They actually came from my granddad's house when he passed away a few years ago, and they were from his granddad's house. So they are a super old bunch of walking onions, or he called them shallots. So a lot of these little things that have popped up, we've not planted those. They just came up from seeds from last year. So we have some watermelons coming up here. And then along this line, starting there and going all the way down, is a mixture of flower seeds. It's about 60 different types of flower seeds. I just planted those to kind of get a little wildflower border going on. Then over here we have our peppers. So we have poblano, we have an orange bell, that's shishito, then banana pepper, and you can actually see we have quite a banana pepper coming up. And every time I get down low, my cat hits the phone, so I apologize for that. And then over there we have jalapeno, and then that is an eggplant. So coming around here, we have our herb beds, one of the first of many of our herb beds. So in here we have 2 different chamomile plants. We have a strawberry mint at the end. We have bronze fennel and then white horehound. Then we have a pot. I cannot remember for the life of me what I planted here last year, so I cannot remember what that is. And then I want to say that's Delphium. But I also can't remember. I know I put this in this pot in particular because it is not edible, and I want to make sure it stayed kind of segregated. So this is our tomato trellis. It's actually part of the old swing set that was here, and we broke it apart so the tomatoes could grow up. We got a random asparagus that has popped up that we're going to let live. And then we have tomatoes all around it. And then framed on the other end by more herbs. So this is my lemon balm that I've had for a few years now, and a lavender. And then this is the second herb bed I put in this year with borage. And you can tell they are loving the beautiful flowers on it. We have mugwort, we have bee balm coming up, and then that is black peppermint coming up. So scooting back around here, we have lettuce here that Rob started a couple of months ago, lettuce over there. He's been eating some for salads, but it's about time to pull it all up because it's starting to run. This is our compost bin for the year, so we aren't really making an effort to plant this up. It's filled with all the compost that we had been processing last year, But we have thrown a few things in it. So any leftover tomato plants that we didn't have space for planting out there, I threw in here, and they are looking wonderful, which surprised me because these were all like the dead and dying tomato plants. I just threw in that dill the other day, and then we have like onions and stuff coming up randomly. So coming around here, I just planted that yesterday, that tropical plant. And then in here, we have marshmallow roots coming up. We have another lavender, and then we have lemon thyme. So these are our 2 original beds that we started with. I have it framed right now by 2 rosemaries and then some more tomato plants. But in that far bed, we have onions. And I know someone's probably going to say that our onions are planted too close together, but we don't really want really big onions. We don't use really big onions. We don't really like big onions, so they're going to make smaller onions when we're doing it this way, and that's how it works best for us. And in this bed, I have the celery that Caleb has wanted planted. I had a chamomile come up from last year that is doing amazing. And then I just sprinkled some carrot seeds on this side, a mixture of a bunch of different types of carrots, and then beets. So we've never had good luck growing carrots, but we've always had good luck growing like beets and stuff. So you can see the seedlings are coming up for that. We have some random sunflowers coming up from our currently empty bird feeder. Then over here I have potted up the nettle plant because I wanted it somewhere that was really out of the way for the kids so they wouldn't touch it. And then a cherry tree from my granddad's house. Coming around, we have our cat following us. But all these little sprouts like this that you see around here, that is all peanuts. So this little area Caleb has planted out with peanuts. And if you want to know specific varieties of anything that we planted, just leave a comment, or if you go to our Instagram page, I share a lot of the varieties there. And then in this little section, there is some cotton plants coming up. He just planted those, so they are very tiny. But this is a green cotton, which is going to be pretty cool. So this space over here, we haven't planted anything really yet. This is a runner that came up from plants last year. I want to say that's probably cantaloupe. And then I'm hoping those might be squash because we did squash over in this area last year. And we have all that down to kind of kill the weeds because we have had a crazy problem with this really weird weed over there that we can't get rid of no matter how much we pull it or anything. So we have that on top to try to kill it off right now. But I think in this area we're going to start our yellow squash. In a few weeks we are going to do our corn and our okra. So I have our garden just kind of framed simply. We have this little kind of artsy installation. We have a horny beam tree, foxglove. We have this little, what is this? Ice plant they call it, which is just a great looking plant. This is a spearmint that doesn't look the best. It needs to probably be repotted and trimmed, but I've had it now probably 3 or 4 years. I just planted this hosta in hopes that it grows up and kind of looks nice, and I think it'll be nice and shaded there, so I think it will do well. And then I have a small little valerian. Our bigger one is out in our other herb bed, so that's just kind of an offshoot from that. And then in this corner, which we just planted, I have our elderberry, and this elderberry is probably, when I say probably 3 years old now, but it is looking beautiful. We have yarrow, butterfly bush down there. This is a Carolina allspice or sweet shrub. That is a fairy house that we moved out here because it had hornets in it, so we killed the hornets off. And then that is the other elderberry. So yeah, that's how our garden is looking so far on June 1st. And it is a huge space, and I know it will continue to grow and flourish. And I think if we get a little bit of rain, everything will look even better. But everything's going well right now, and I'm going to harvest some lemon balm and chamomile for some tea this morning. All right, until next time, guys, take care.